So for those of you who don't know, Apple Music released a top 100 albums of all time list. Now this is pretty big, and I think this is based off of quality. I'm not too sure. I don't know what they're judging it off, I'm gonna be honest. But I thought I'd take a look, react to it, give my thoughts on some of the placements, let you know what I think. So yeah, of course I have seen a bit of this list before, it's been all over the internet, but I want to take a deep look at it, really dive into it, and see what I really think. The first album I'd like to talk about being on this list is going to be Astroworld by Travis Scott and number 98, but they have picked this out as the best Travis Scott album. And I strongly disagree. I mean, I'm not saying that Astroworld is a bad album. No, don't get me wrong. Astroworld is a great album. But Travis Scott has also probably made the best trap album of all time, and that being Rodeo. I just think Rodeo is far more experimental, far more engaging to listen to. If I'm not wrong, it's shorter as well, and it kind of grabs my attention more, definitely. So I would disagree with this, and I don't think Astral is a top 100 album of all time, but okay. Rage Against the Machine, the self-titled album, very fair pick. This is a classic. Confessions by Usher, even though yes, I know that it is a classic, as an album, like as a whole body of work, I don't know if it makes the top 100, I'm gonna be honest. It does have some classic songs in there though, for sure. Untrue by Burial. I am so glad that this was included, and I think this deserves to be on here because it is one of the best instrumental albums ever. It's so innovative and unique. The production on this thing is insane. Archangel is, I think, a big highlight from this album. I mean, yes, it is the most popular track of the album, but it's the most popular for a very good reason. That song is insane. I mean, take a look at the sample breakdown. Flower Boy by Tyler, the Creator, makes it a number 92. I think that's not Tyler's best, if I'm being honest. I would have to go with Igor or Something They Call Me If You Get Lost to be ahead of it, but Flower Boy is a fair pick. I know that people love it, so it's a fair pick. I'm not mad at it. Igor probably should be top 100 of all time, if I'm being honest. Nina Simone probably does deserve to be on here, even though I haven't heard a full album. I've heard many songs, and I do like them. This cover is so fucking good. Oh my god. 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying, gets in at number 82. I would say that's probably the right place for this album. It barely makes the top 100, but it does make it, I think. One of the most fun hip-hop albums, and it's got so many classics on it that are so catchy. I love this album. Oh, it's got Many Men on it. One of the most gangster songs ever. You cannot tell me that's not badass. He survived a shooting. They shot at him like 9 times. We have the highest rated Eminem album on here, the Marshall Mathers LP at number 80. I mean, it's not a bad pick at all. I would say it's the second best Eminem album. I would say the Eminem Show is better, but this is definitely a fair pick. I mean, they're very close between the Marshall Mathers LP and the Eminem Show. I think this is prime Eminem. Best rapping, was not corny at all, had some amazing storytelling, was just off the grid with what he said. He's not coming back though. That last track was questionable. Norman fucking Rockwell by Lana Del Rey. I mean, it's a good Lana album. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's up there, and Lana deserves to be on this list, so I'm not mad at this placement. Okay, something a bit more modern. Un Verano Sin Ti by Bad Bunny. Don't kill me for that pronunciation. Was it a year ago or 2 years ago? I'm not too sure, but it's within the last 24 months. And I mean, look, it's a decent album. I don't mind it, but there's nothing really top 100 worthy on it. I don't know. It's not really influential. At least I don't think it is. I don't really keep up with the Latin scene. The quality of it is decent at best. I mean, it's fun. It's okay, but that's it. I don't know why they put it as top 100. Another more recent album coming in at 72, SOS by SZA, and I completely disagree. This is not even SZA's best album. I think she was mad at this being number 72, like, oh, it should be higher or something. What do you mean? This thing's barely been out for a year. It's an accomplishment to even have it on this list. But I just don't think it's that good. I think it's a bloated album, and Control is way better. I don't know if I really would put them in my top 100 albums, but they're fair picks. I'm not mad. We have Master of Puppets by Metallica, classic. Is This It by The Strokes? I love them so much. In number 68, I love them so much. Is This It by The Strokes, in my opinion, is the best, well, okay, let me not say that. Is one of the best indie albums of all time. I love the aesthetic of this thing. I love the guitars on this thing. I love how catchy it is. I love the mix on it. It sounds so raw and distorted. Also, Trying Your Luck is the most underrated song on this album. It has like one of the least amount of streams. It's the lowest rated on album of the year. I don't get it. This song is so good. That guitar solo is amazing. Dummy by Portishead, a really cool sounding album. If you haven't heard it, I would strongly recommend it. It's a really cool album, so nice placement. I mean, can we talk about Morrissey on this album? His vocals are so good. One of the best vocal performances of all time on any album. It's just insane. They have picked out Are You Experienced by Jimi Hendrix to be his best album. Well, the band's best album. at number 63 on this list. I would have to disagree, man. But look, it's a very good album. It's a good pick. But Electric Ladyland is literally right there. One of the best albums of all time. One of the most ahead of its time albums. Not saying that Are You Experienced is not ahead of its time or that it's not good. No, it's very good. But Electric Ladyland is just that one step up for me. It's in that upper echelon of albums. It's something. I'm gonna make a whole video on it, and I will. All Eyes on Me by Tupac, fair, definitely. It's a bit bloated, I will say, definitely a bit bloated, but it's a very good record. Love Deluxe by Sade, that deserves to be on here. Such a smooth record, very nice placement. We have then The Velvet Underground and Nico, the self-titled. I would rather not speak. I'm just going to get bombarded with hatred, so we're just gonna move on.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
A Love Supreme at number 54 definitely deserves to be on here. One of my favorite jazz albums. It's actually one of the jazz albums that I find has a lot of replayability. It's probably my most listened jazz album, so I like this placement a lot at number 54. I think that's fair. Sign of the Times by Prince. This better not be the only Prince album on here because he has better albums. At the halfway point, we have Hounds of Love by Kate Bush at number 50. Take Care at number 47. Some people have been mad about this. Some people have not been mad about this. Here's my take on it. I think it is Drake's best album, and I think it's a top 100 album of all time. Top 50 album of all time. I don't care. They did a very good job placing this on here. But I think it's because I have a really close emotional connection to this record. There's definitely better produced albums on this list. You're telling me when this comes on, you don't get in your feels? I could glaze this album for days, but I'm gonna leave it at that. I've already glazed it enough. Homogenic by Björk at number 45. I think Vespertine is better, but I'm not mad. You know, Homogenic is incredible. I don't understand how this album was made in the 90s. I mean, really, I struggle to wrap my head around this project being produced and made and combined and worked on and in the 90s. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's so ahead of its time, it's so experimental, Björk's vocals are out of this world. Aquemini by Outkast places at number 41. I'm not mad at it. I think it is the best Outkast album, definitely one of the best hip-hop albums of all time, so putting it on a list like this is definitely fair. And then we have Illmatic at number 39. Is this kinda low? I mean, look, I would have assumed that they would have put this a lot higher, because usually these publications put Illmatic always, you know, top 5, top 10, who try to make these best rap albums of all time, best albums of all time. I was surprised to see this at 39, but I think it's a fair placement, definitely. I don't have to speak about Illmatic. We all know the greatness of this album. This put Nas on the map. This put hip-hop on the map, not just Nas. I myself would put Illmatic a little bit higher, but you can't be really mad at this, can you? London Calling by The Clash, great pick. This album has some really catchy songs. If you're into indie rock or pop rock, I would strongly suggest you check this album out if you haven't. Kid A by Radiohead. Now, I know that there are 2 Radiohead albums on here, but Kid A is not top 2 for me. However, it's Kid A. You can't hate on it for being top 33 on this list. Like, no, it deserves to be on here. It's definitely in my top 100 albums of all time. I just think In Rainbows and OK Computer are better. But this album's insane. Ready to Die by Biggie at number 32. So far the highest ranked rap album, and I would say it's deserved. Biggie's rapping is on another level on this project. Some of the best rapping we have ever seen. When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? At number 30. Have they lost their mind? I mean, it's a good record, I like it, but I think it's Billie's worst album. I much prefer the new record and also her sophomore album. But top 30 of all time? Really? Are we really saying that this project is better than Ready to Die by Biggie, Kid A by Radiohead? Like, I can keep going. It's not better than anything on this list. Dark Side of the Moon at number 28. This had to be on here, of course. Kanye, my beloved Kanye with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy makes it at number 26. And I would say that's fair. You know, top 25 album of all time, for me, yes. For a while I thought Jesus was Kanye's best, but no, I've changed my mind. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is by far Kanye's best album. You know, when times are down, you just gotta put this shit on and listen to it sometimes, and your problems will go away, so yeah. And we have Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys, which I'm gonna be honest, I find this album to be really overrated. I kinda don't see the hype for it. I know it was influential, I know it's like ahead of its time, but I'm yet to see the light, okay? If someone can explain to me what you like about this album, I'll maybe give it a re-listen as well, but I just don't see the vision. Okay, I see what we're doing here. Yeah, this is not okay. This isn't, I don't know if this is even Taylor's best album, but this is not okay. I just really don't get how you can put this above any of the albums on this list so far. The Blueprint by Jay-Z at number 13, very high up. I wouldn't say it's that high up, but it is an amazing hip-hop album, helped put Kanye West on the map, has some insane production, some great rapping, I think the best rapping Jay-Z has ever had, and it is, in my opinion, the best or second best Jay-Z album. The Black Album may be slightly better to me, but they're very close, so yeah, I don't mind. And here we go, OK Computer as the best Radiohead album. It was expected, I'm not mad at it. It's fine, but I think In Rainbows is a bit better. Of course I love this album, one of the best albums ever. I just think In Rainbows is a bit better and deserves to be on this list. I'm mad that wasn't on here. Back to Black by Amy Winehouse, great pick, amazing pick, love this album. Good Kid Maad City at number 7, and they have picked this as the best Kendrick album. No To Pimp a Butterfly, no Damn, but Good Kid Maad City makes it, which is good. I think this is Kendrick's, I don't even know, his music is just too good. I don't know how to rank his fucking albums, okay? But this is one of the best hip-hop albums ever, some of the best storytelling we've ever seen, some of the best rapping we've ever seen. I just kinda can't believe that To Pimp a Butterfly wasn't on here. Blonde by Frank Ocean, making it number 5. Please drop more music, I really want Frank Ocean music. And okay, they have picked out Purple Rain as the best Prince album. It is, in my opinion. And finally, at the number 1, we have a pick that kind of surprised me. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill at the number 1 spot. And I'm gonna think about it like this. If someone was to say that this album was the best album of all time, I think that's a fair opinion. It may not be my favorite album of all time, but it's definitely one of my favorite hip-hop albums ever, and it deserves to be on this list. Yeah, number 1 is not a bad pick, definitely not. I think it's a bit weird that they had repeats on here, like some artists have 2 albums and some don't when they clearly should. How do you not fit To Pimp a Butterfly in here? I don't understand. These kind of lists, they're usually terrible. And this list is actually not that bad. I think there's some decent placements on here. Of course there are some snubs, but there's always gonna be snubs on these lists. Like, you cannot make a perfect list. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you think of the list. If you like it, tell me. If you don't, tell me as well and explain to me why. Please make sure you like and subscribe. That will mean so much to me, as it helps push my video and my channel into the YouTube algorithm. But yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next time. Peace.